Almost $1 more.
Uh, yeah, I think it was 138. It was two goddamn 50 something right there. Over yeah, about $1.50 decent.
Oh, so they price gouging. Well, I mean, they have a right. It's their business, and if we buy it, it's convenient, right? So you paying for the convenience.
I hope my homeboy be alright in the damn thing. That shit is super cheap and down and dynamic. But, you know, that's another good for everybody. I voted for it to be gone and not suffering and shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a spoiled motherfucker. He's a mama boy. He got two sisters in him and he's the baby.
And he's the baby.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just sorry to hear that.
Well, I come on, check you out, sister me this time.
All right. Yeah, no, I'm
You got
good.
a butt wrap?
Huh? I do. You need one?
No, I got one
Oh.
I need.
Yeah, just save it because I went out. I said I thought it was gonna rain. That's why I said I was gonna go walking early.
I know I can't roll them motherfuckers. I had to get somebody else to roll it for me. Plus that weed that we got off the floor. I gotta pay that weed over there and take it. Two joints in the package in. You know, get this shit back in this girl. I can't rock that. It's like motherfucking home run.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go jump in this shower. I gotta send something else to the court.
You got a fried chicken?
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh. I got that forgot that fried chicken. You know, do what I do.
But you know what? You can go right over. Have you been to Publix before?
No. Yeah, back in the day.
Well, they got one right off of Rayford, and you can
But
get it.
I got to go to
Charlie C's. Oh, cause I was like, I can order Instacart from there, but I usually get a piece of 8 thing of chicken for about $8.
Hey, look, I know how that motherfucker out about just for 30 minutes, about 35 we get on. But it sounds like the damn moon moving around. Yeah, so I would put your shit all the way down. You know, I got shit sitting there watching. Hey, my shoulder so fucked up. She had to crank the lawnmower one time for me, but I couldn't even do it.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Well, baby, like I said, I can check on you.
All right, I see you in a little bit.
Any kind of strong kind of drink that you might like. Four Loko or something strong that's not, you don't want to learn too much in.
Yeah, I want to get to the. Maybe I might call the guy on Friday to ask him when he come get me, cause I want to get one of them. They only $10 for the whole gallon. Okay, the Long Island iced tea if she take it. Oh, she coming right now? want to do that. I no.
Hey, Mom.
Yeah, I'm mad with you. Where you been?
Nothing. I've been just getting up.
I ain't talked to you in 3 days.
You said what?
I haven't talked to you in 3 days.
That's good, Mama. I was letting you get some rest.
Did you know I had court yesterday?
Yeah, you told me you had court. I ain't want to bother you, and I ain't want to bother you.
So did we get a win?
You tell me what happened.
Well, I presented my case and it's going under review because the bottom line.
About that your son?
No, not that. This about the house and the money, and that there's no money, and me and them foreclosing on the house, and I challenged it with the Constitution, and because their rules don't apply to the living. All I did was presented the information plus the letter Peter gave us about there's no real money. So basically we at a standstill because if they come back and say if they come back and try to take the home, I can write an appeal, and now I can go after them in their personal capacity and sue them personally because they would have perjured themselves because they took an oath of office. So we at a standstill. So just if you can just have good energy and say that the letter that they're gonna send me is gonna grant my wishes, that the house is clear, they send the mortgage satisfaction, and then they send $50,000 in pre-1913 silver coins or its equivalent, which is $250,000 for damages. I told them that I wrote. And then I told them that I already requested and I sent the letter to the Attorney General requesting for a full investigation of the trustee, the debt consolidator, and all of the lawyers work for the same company. That means they commingling and they do. Well, when I say commingle, yeah, but they're using, under federal guidelines, they talk about you probably hear, oh, they got them for mail fraud or they got them for interstate commerce. And that's what I can now, because they violated the FARA, the Foreign Registration Act, they're not registered. And before they can even send you a piece of mail to solicit to you, that means any company, they supposed to go check on the Secretary website to see if you are a registered, certified person that they can even talk to. So everybody's breaking laws. Most of them don't even know that they breaking laws, and I'm here to enforce it. So I asked the Attorney General to open up an investigation on the mortgage company because they all working together across state lines under different assumed addresses, but under the same brand name. And I proved it. I can prove it because all of the mails that they were sending to me, I was looking at the addresses, and I use AI intelligence and data points. Now I have an argument that's not like any argument that they probably have to hear. And so I just put a couple of pieces together, and she said that they'll be writing me, either they're going to continue or they'll be writing me in the next couple of days.
All right, so now you can call the people and get on my case now?
I can work on it. I'm tired right now, to be honest with you. I got one thing I need to do because I got a lot of ideas.
The date was, it had to be in there
Monday, and I promise you, between the day and tomorrow, we're gonna work on it. I promise, cause I've been working on the stuff that I have to write in paragraph form. It's a lot of things. Like for an example, it says. Once I get this stuff, I'll be able to start moving now. Yeah, yeah. I'll be able to start traveling again. Then I'll be able to come here or whatever. Yeah. I'm gonna be able to gather the women up. I'm gonna be able to gather the women up, put my team together. So I'm gonna get certain people. I'm gonna I put you on a notepad. I put you. Right, but I put you on a notepad today because I spent about 2 hours this morning with Brandy. So in my search, I'm just gonna throw this out there, but when you open up the notepad, you'll see what I'm talking about. So in my search, I found that you know how the government be seizing property, houses, cars, businesses like that. So I ended up on one website about they took my car and stuff. Right, but did it go back to the bank or what? So I'm talking about seized like in criminal activities, or if the IRS put a lien on a house and they went in and things like that. So this website I found that has like the IRS that takes products, the Department of Customs, this say to the post office, this say Homeland Security, all these people that may go in and do raids or whatever, they have all this inventory. So when I was reading the inventory, it says that. So one of them, and I sent you a link. So when you click on it, you're gonna be like, "Damn!" Because when I told Brandy, she said, "This shit is smart." The one that I sent you was the IRS. They had all these designer bags, thousands of them, Prada, Gucci, Hermes, and I said, and you can petition the government to release the products. And I created a business in my mind to put it under our foundation and say that we're going to use these products to open up an auction, and the auction will be about marketing your identity, because you know we're trying to market a new identity, so branding. And so my hope is that if I write up the petition, we only need one, but if we can get these people to start releasing to us houses or cars, but we attach it with, I designed a whole program for the young children to teach them about self identity, so we can take them through a little personal development. But I want to also give them the money to either pay for a skill set, like maybe learning how to fly drones, because drone photography is something that even a 14-year-old can potentially get his license as a pilot to take pictures all around the world. So I want to give the young people ideas, and that may cost $300 or $400. But now you just gave this kid a business that he can actually do to make money. And so I wanted to write together a petition, because Amendment number 1 guarantees us the right to write a petition for our grievances, or redress anything we want. We can write a petition. It guarantees us to have our own religion, our own education, our freedom of speech, and free press. So I was going to write that in the petition, but I kind of put a notepad together already, and I wanted to float that at you, and you can click on the links and see all the kind of inventory. And then when Brandy look, she was like, "Kim, they done confiscated bank accounts and everything." I said, "I know." And so where is all this stuff sitting? Some of them they do auction off, but if we can write a petition and tell them we have an interest in what we're going to do with it, I think it's another way that we can come up. What you think, son? Did I confuse you? No, I got it. We can like I say, we can start. We can just like yesterday. So yeah, we could just start doing it like that. But like I say, I'm just like I say, once we get these little knickknacks and stuff out the way, then I'll be able to move. You know what I'm saying? And be able to put these paperwork out there. That's just like I'm so just a lot of stuff we just build an inventory. You know what I'm saying? Right now, but it's just like once we get out there, that's when it's gonna happen. Right. So just like I say, in the meantime, once we get this money, then I'll be able to move and do what I got to do, and then at least then if I got to move by myself in the beginning before I bring everybody, I can do it like that. Right. I'd be able to move faster like that. I have a question for you. How do you feel about us going live on the Clubhouse today and strictly talking about the motion for determination about the money, and maybe do a title up there. Are you the alternative to student loan debt? And share with people that document, and maybe we can get enough people to sign a petition that, because that's the discussion right now, whether they should give 1,000, 10,000 or 50,000. But my goal is for it to be resolved altogether. And so, do you think maybe we can do and maybe just start to discuss just that document alone, so people can understand the magnitude that there's no money, but that document could be used to challenge anything that anybody's ever asking you to pay. The universe is calling you right now. Hello? Hello? They just called you. Hello?
Yeah.
What is this?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Brian just called me back. Let me call you right back because I don't know what's going on. Hello? Brian? Hello?
have the tournament. But this year, I'm probably going to try to do it in the summertime as well in Toronto, where a basketball court, and I'm ordering portable chargers for my portable lights so we could do a basketball tournament. I run free scholarships, but I plan to eventually approach the Raptors. Sounds like you might be a good connect, because I plan to eventually approach the Raptors to see if they could sponsor a basketball tournament as part of the Increase the Peace campaign I've been doing since 2002. I'm in a newspaper. You might not have heard of me, but it doesn't matter. I might not have heard of you, but I'm sure you do great things. So, maybe we could connect, as I'm interested in a tournament and have the Raptors, maybe even one of them, just come through for the young people. And when it gets dark, I have the portable lights, and I'm ordering from Amazon a portable charger to charge my portable light. So at night, if they don't have the lights up, but we could probably do a tournament big enough at a big enough court in Toronto where they have the lights. But I have portable lights because I play basketball at night now that I'm retired at 45. So let's connect sometime, because I've been doing nonprofit stuff since 2002 when it cost me my house in 2010. Actually, my first book was in 1988. I'm done.
Jason. I love that you're making that connection. That's awesome.
Sorry,
but I want to honor the time.
Sorry.
Yep. I love that connection is happening between you and King. Get into his back channel, have that conversation with him. I love what's going to happen there. Keep us posted about that too, because I'm interested in learning that, just hearing more about that. All right. But I just want to make sure that I respect everyone's time. This was a hard stop at the top of the hour. This is Pitch Perfect Power Hour. And so I really appreciate everyone for coming in today and sharing who you are, what you do, what referrals you were looking for. If you did not get a chance to put your information in the back chat, put that there if you didn't get a chance to come to stage today. And we will be back here tomorrow at the top of the hour, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and everything in between. Talisha, I love you. Thank you so much for helping and for co-moderating with me today and adding that extra value to the room. I appreciate everyone here, and I will see everyone tomorrow on July 15th. My son turns 19 tomorrow, so yes, a lot going on, but thank you so much, everyone, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Happy birthday to your son, Ingrid.
Thank you.
Yes, have a good day. Enjoy. Bye.
Thank you, Talisha. Talk to you soon.
Alexa, spell situated.
Situated is spelled Situated.
only get theoretical certificates. Now from there, the rise of the black man begin. So they don't get any choice than to fall back to just normal casual labor work. If you want to become a technical engineer for that one, you need to go a technical. After you finish your university, you need to go to learn for how many years to go for technical school to get the
Something
certificate.
you could have learned already. The time you were wasting in learning in school, you would have been practically learning it and be a master at this thing by the time you finish.
Exactly. So you have to go and spend another years learning school. But by that time, most black people already get family and children. Imagine a man now by the name of Gunther at the age of like 40. You want to see they go to school again just to go spend about 4 or 5 years for school to obtain a certificate. When Gunther they work for construction sites, you know work. So most of them, instead of for them to waste that time, then fall back to labor and they come to begin to do laborer work. They collect wages so that they pay they feel they give money, they feel they drop money for their family. Then from there, the value of the labor work begin to drop small by small. When I go maybe today, maybe like $50, and then pay on now you make for today, and that time $50 make value. Tomorrow if you go, the value will don't drop because more people will come work, and if excess workers the value of the money will begin to drop. Nobody say the commodity go they high like that. So from there, the value begin to depreciate very fast. By the time when you go reach around that kind 1990 or 1980 something, most of the black people don't get job again. Then bring drugs come. They know they work, but they smoke Igbo. They know they work, but they take hard drugs. So from there, the people itself, why they know they sell those black, why they no carry and why those people go bring the drugs and come? Why they no carry and go the white neighborhood? Now the black neighborhood then carry and come. Uncle Billy will be saying now well done before now when no get job again. Opportunity different to the sell crack. You begin to see your money. Before you know, within just like 6 months when they say don't get money, don't buy different Escalade, don't get boss on the ram. Before you know it, they begin to introduce more stuff come. Our people know good. We sabi about medicine. But when it comes to chemical induced particles, our black people know they do all those kinds of things. We know they create hard drugs for Africa. We know before we begin the smoke Igbo, nobody say we don't know of Igbo.
Bro, it's not like we didn't create hard drugs. We did not need it because our people already had natural knowledge on how to heal. We were already healers.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about the medicinal part of it. Now, perhaps we they do medicine now. I'm talking about abusing. Our people know they abuse drug.
I'm not arguing with you. I support you, but you miss some vital information because you suppose state say even Harlem had a Black Wall Street. Do you know this?
Yeah.
They were a thriving black community even after slavery has been abolished. They had black bosses, black banks, black schools, black churches, everything black in New York on its own, like how it was. So these people were already thriving, but then how did they exploit that community? By pushing crack into the community. They started giving pregnant women, the men were going to jail. The women were becoming widows at a very young age. And then children will get father. Gangster. They brought a system of benefits, welfare. I forgot how they brought it so that if independent women, the father was not living in the house, the woman gets more money. Yeah. So now the women were using this thing to a certain advantage. They privileged that the white man gave them. Divorcing starts. And one-sided parental programming begin. From there, before you know it, our black men were going to jail. And nobody to raise their son. Before you know it, the jail system, the jail filled with more black people than they ought to be. Before you know it, the people where they do handiwork now, they live handiwork now, na gangster lifestyle, drugs and heroin and cocaine and junkies. And as you take talk if you check most of the people will be drug junkies, they be intelligent people. How they take gets to reach that place? Well, I don't know. But so long as they keep suppress the people and people no. Okay, say something. Before you continue, Joseph, can you switch to V1? I greet you. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, CY. I'm listening. Can you switch to English? I think Kimberly is not a Nigerian, so she might not understand. Okay.
I can hear you. I can hear you very well, and
we love that.
I'm really surprised that you guys are really in the know of what's really happening here in our country, and our own people don't realize what has happened to us and our greatness. So I'm just sitting there and listening, and I was like, man, these guys got it. You know, you're speaking real truth, and I just hope that more of us would wake up and start having these kind of conversations. We fell from greatness.
Yeah,
You know.
we trying to wake it up, you know, because nowadays, like they say, this is the time of information. So I think it's only ignorant people, or if you're extremely dumb, then you're gonna be dumb in this time of life because there's so much information passing by. You need to wake up. Like there's so much truth that has been hidden from us. If we don't tell ourselves or share the knowledge ourselves, who's gonna share it with us?
No.
Because obviously, you see, the white man is trying to change the way we even learn it nowadays. It's crazy.
Right, and I feel the same way too, and it's just that I want and just in my own argument here, because I've been on a real spiritual journey. I fasted almost 2 years, and I've just really been guided by our ancestors, and a lot of it has to do with we've been programmed. We were educated from the very beginning to think outside of ourselves, to rely on a system, and that system has used, you know, the English language, as far as I'm concerned, it's never been registered anywhere in the world. It's a book of spells, and the words have so many meanings, and that's why. Yeah, and it has so many meanings, and that's why when other cultures come here, the vernacular is off compared to how you were taught your own language, and so it's usually a struggle because you have to learn all rules that's contrary to what your inner nature knows what to be true. So we're all walking around, and they kind of, you know, simple words like person. When you start to research it, like 100 years ago, it referred to a person as being a living being, a man or a woman. Now a person is an artificial entity, a corporation, a trust, a business, and so that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never knew that. That's crazy. Yeah, I knew that there's a difference between corporate law and natural law, but I never knew even the word person meant crazy.
Yeah, and so what happened is in order how the British took over our land here in America, is that they created an artificial system. So let's just say we started out as the USA, and then they created a corporate, a fiction and they called it the US. Well, in programming, we just got used to going from even saying our states used to have three initials, like Florida was FLA, and then it moved to Florida, FL. So they moved the living man from out of natural law or common law or the treaties that really give us the protection into corporate law, but they never disclosed that to us. And so I recently challenged the Constitution, and how do your rules, meaning the statutes, the codes, and the ordinances, they're not laws. They're just rules of the corporation called America or the U.S.
Thank you. I was saying the same thing today. Go ahead. Thank you.
Yes, and so they moved our physical body from, or just say our spiritual house, our vessel, they moved it and they created an artificial entity. So your name, let's just say your name, my name is Kimberly McFarland. Proper grammar says I would write a big K, a small letters, right, and a big M, small letters. But what they did was they incorporated our name and they created corporate fiction. So now everything that comes to us, and even on our birth certificate, it's the capital letters. That's not you. That's the corporate identity or the artificial you, that when we give it a signature, whenever we sign for something, then we give it life. And that's what binds us to that world or binds us to the corporate law. The issue is they have never explained the proper civics to us in our education. And so we adopted this world, and then we started paying taxes, and everything that we're doing is based on volunteer. We're consenting because nobody is reading the fine print in the contracts, the driver's license, the social security, the insurance card. Nobody reads the details in the contract. And so they haven't lied to us because you signed it. It's not their fault that you didn't read it. But therein lies but therein lies the play on words. So everything that I research now, I have to ask myself, what is the common man meaning, like person, and what is the legal meaning of this word? And therein lies is the spell, because everything is about a contract. Even you and I right now today, we may say, hey, let's work together. There's a contract, and I'm gonna say, well, the terms are going to be X, Y, Z. You gotta meet with me every morning and then you be like, no, 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 I can't do it that day. But but you and I will come up with an agreement. That's a contract, and anytime either one of us don't do what we said, then we have an opportunity to come back to the table and renegotiate. So until we wake up and realize that we have signed our God-given rights away to an artificial world, to a debt system, that the people on this planet is going to continue to suffer, because we are not, we have allowed the Vatican to replace God.
Facts. They stole our seed, right?
Yes.
They stole the seed. They do this to all religions and major civilizations. If you notice,
they did that. But let me tell you, the biggest thing is that Congress, as we know it, has the power to regulate commerce. What does that mean? Well, when they got that power and they moved us from the gold standard to fiat currency, they did that under the United Nations. And every public official in this country, every judge, every 1,013,000 lawyers, every executive of every financial institution, they all take an oath of office, meaning a dual oath of office. So they swore to uphold the federal standard as well as the state standard. But if you say that you're a 14th Amendment citizen, then those rules apply to you. But when you know that you are a state citizen, where your Declaration of Independence and your Bill of Rights are protected, then you have to do the necessary paperwork to pull yourself out of that system and start to operate under God's law and common law. And so,
can I quickly add to what Kimberly said? Please, before you go.
Yes, yes.
Now, you were talking about when your names are when they give their names in capital letters. There was something I discovered some time ago. Now, do you know that when every child that is born into anywhere in the world, actually, now they used to present what they call a birth certificate to the person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you know it is spelled in English as even English as a whole is not a language. It's more or less like a spell book. Yeah, that's what she just said. I've known that right from time. Now, do you know that when they give you that birth certificate, it is spelled as BIRTH, birth certificate. Now, here is the conspiracy. Not just conspiracy. I would say it's a mystery. Now, when infants are coming to the world, they come from the womb of a woman. Inside of the womb, the children are inside of something that is more or less like a water. That's why they say my water broke, and then the baby comes out. And then there's a placenta that holds the baby and connects them back into the womb before those placenta were cut off. Then at the end, they give the child a birth certificate. Now, do you know that child, because of that thing that happened, and they give you a birth certificate and then you sign on it, it means you have merchandised that child to be a goose. Let me explain.
Yes.
Now, do you know? Well, he's now a product of the corporation, right? Yeah. If any ship, for example, is coming into any country, it is called the maritime law. Any ship that is coming into any country, it comes from the water. The moment the ship gets down to the harbor where they're going to dock the ship, now there is a certificate that will be given over to the ship, to the captain of the ship or whoever that owns that particular ship. It is also called a birth certificate, but it is not BIRTH, it is BETH. That birth certificate, when you sign the agreement, you agree that this ship that you've brought into this country is now a legal product that can be sold in this country. The same way, that is what Kimberly was saying. It made total sense. knowing what I've already known before, it means that the child, even the child you're giving birth to, is more or less like a product. So in some sense, I don't know if you understand.
Yes, that makes perfect sense to what you're saying, and so. But let me help you. Let me help you, and this is what I say. So just say you were thought of by the great ancestors that you would be born at a certain time at a certain place, and your purpose was attached to you just by thought. And then your parents got together, they did the nasty, and then your mom was pregnant. So when she went into the hospital, you came through the birth canal, which is the sea, right? The maritime sea. So I say we descended into this planet or into our bodies or vessels, but we came into the sea of potential and the sea of possibilities. Meaning, as human beings, with the right development, we can become greater than that. Even Jesus said, you can go and do things greater than ye, greater than me. So the potential for every human being to be greatness is there. That is your divinity. That's in your birthright. But when your mom had the birth certificate, at least here, when you look at the birth certificate, you had a live birth. And so y'all might be able to remember, or maybe when you talk to your grandparents, because I don't know how old you guys are, but we used to record our marriages and our births in the Bible, right? Or in some kind of book or album book or picture book. That's where they would keep all the memorabilia for the family. Maybe if we had deaths, they would put the I can't think of the name, the little brochure when you have a Passover for your loved one. So what they did was, within 3 days, which is what they call the resurrection. Now, this is how the whole resurrection, within 3 days from your live birth and from the time that you left the hospital and you signed, like you said, the paperwork to produce the birth certificate, which is actually has 2 stamps on it. It's a birth certificate and a death certificate. So the real you was really left behind in the hospital, so to speak, because when your mom received the birth certificate, she also subscribed to being under the Vatican rule, so to speak, who decided that they were going to take the place of God and tell us how to live. And if y'all really go back and even look into the Catholic Church and all that, gangsters would be able to commit crimes and they would go over to the pastor. They show it in the movies, and the pastor would pray over to you. Yes, ask for forgiveness. Yes, and so that whole idea. So when we came into this world, then they used a commingled society. They used religion. They used, because we've gotten away from what our ancestors did. I mean, the original Bible, if we really want to think about it, has been altered so many times. So there's some truth there, but there's a lot of it that was taken out, especially as far as the woman is concerned, the mother is concerned. All of a sudden, we start worshiping the Father, the Son, and the Ghost. What happened to the woman? Nothing can live on this planet. Right, nothing can live on this planet without both of us. We need each other. That's the duality of our nature. So then they decided they were going to educate us. So between our parents being dumbed down, so to speak, they killed off a lot of our elders, who by then we just taught each other like we teaching each other now through oral application, and that's how they taught. So by the time they dismantled our libraries, they killed off our ancestors, then they started to program us. So we're living a program, a belief system, because everything that I can see, they don't have jurisdiction over our land, and everything that they've done to us is under false pretense. And so the only thing that's holding our current system is in place is our belief in it. The money isn't real, because money is not gold. Fiat currency is not gold and silver. And people are dying, and people are losing their homes, and people are disappearing and committing suicide over this thing called money. And to believe it or not, guys, it's nothing but a game that they're playing. This life that we see here is a game, and it's up to us as creative beings. And I'm saying all of us are actors, artists, and creators, where we get divine intervention, where we get insight, aha moment. 3, 4, 5 of us right now in the room are having brain pops because one is probably saying, yeah, I heard that part before. And then we start to wake up, our DNA wake up. We came from royalty. And so a game is being played on us, and it's being played across all of the globe. And I personally am fighting to get myself to Parliament to raise issues for a global genocide, because I believe that just from the sheer intentions of programming a people and educating the people to look outside themselves, they didn't teach us critical thinking skills. The children in school need to be learning about interpersonal development, emotional intelligence, self-exploration. That's when you get into contemplation and put in that space. That's when you unlock your geniuses and the ancestors, or whatever mystery power that keeps our heartbeat, our lungs breathing, that gives us idea. There's a power out there that, philosophers have talked about all the time. Why isn't that what we're talking about, so we can know that we have the power to change anything just with our thoughts? But we got to start thinking differently if we want to change the paradigm that we're experiencing. And that means each and every one of us got to do our own work. And then we come together, because I can probably work with some of you, you can work with me, and that's how, but you've already done your work. You know who you are, and you're willing to stand on your truth and what you believe, because you know that your ancestors and what you see, even though everybody else might be doing the opposite, what you see, feel, and know you deserve, you will manifest it, regardless of what anybody else thinks. And collectively, if we start thinking like this, we can create a whole new world for ourselves. We owe that to ourselves and our children. Otherwise, why are we even having kids to bring them in this world? To suffer?
Especially now with the whole vaccines and this and that. Like, you need to really take time. Things are not just how it used to be. Nothing is just normal anymore. Like, everything has a meaning. Everything is so sensitive right now. I also said something today earlier in this room. There has been a change before COVID, especially during the beginning.
They showcase an hologram, an hologramic image, a technology that was not even meant to be. That show was gone. and somehow some people were able to keep the record of that particular shoe. That was what gave birth to this project Blue Book. And conspiracy theories, when